We're back.
Hi!
And we got a lot to talk about.
Let's burn through it.
My name's Dax,
And I'm Nick.
and welcome to the Coal Room, our YouTube rugby chat show, and it's been a while.
What's it, 3 weeks now?
3 weeks. I was sick for a period, and then
Then I disappeared.
you disappeared off the face of the earth to Prague.
It was a
for
work trip.
conference.
It was a work trip.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we needed the break, and I think you guys needed the break. Super Rugby went like flatline. I mean, it's pretty. All the knockouts phases were like, eh.
I said it in our last video. Coming back from the excitement of the international window, back into the last few rounds of Super Rugby, it's eh.
It's a bit of a lull. I mean, you kind of now have an idea of who was going to go through anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the guarantees were the guys who had quarterfinals and semi-finals at home. So the Lions and the Crusaders went through in both phases.
The Waratahs.
And the Waratahs won theirs but had to travel. Sharks obviously got hammered.
Yeah, I mean, it was a foregone conclusion. The Sharks were also Rams in the quarterfinal stages. The big one was the Hurricanes Chiefs quarterfinal.
Yeah, because they played in the last round robin stage, and then they had to face each other in the knockouts, and the Hurricanes just scraped that one through.
And then going into the semi-finals, that Hurricanes Crusaders one, that was going to be an exciting game. But I watched the first half, and the Hurricanes just didn't want to play.
It was a bit sad actually.
They just kept kicking the ball back.
Especially with the Barretts, I was a bit shocked that there was no enterprise with gameplay. It's like they reverted into a gameplay that wasn't theirs.
Yeah, it's actually get the ball.
But Mwanga had an absolute belter though.
No, I mean the Crusaders played extremely well to basically limit the Hurricanes to 7 points for the entire game, except for the last 10 minutes. But yeah, that was essentially pride.
That's all it was, and then Lions securing their third final in 3 years.
In 3 years. But again, I mean, I'm personally, if I'm awake, I'll watch the game. If I'm not awake, I'm not seeing this as a big loss because let's be honest, the Lions aren't going to win.
I'm not going to.
And you know what? If the Lions win, I'll eat my words. But
I'm not going to be too sad if they keep it close. But I mean, for me, the biggest talking points for me are that I've read recently is World Rugby have said that they are going to limit the use of TMOs, which I think is a bad idea considering we've been saying the TMO should be brought in for certain situations, kind of like with the constant monitoring that they had with the FIFA World Cup.
But then I thought that was a bit too much.
No, but look, infringement happens. TMO says to the assistant referee something's happened, so it's not directly fed to the referee. The phases go until the ball's dead, and then they'll say, "Look, 5 phases ago something happened." I mean, if they
true, but then again,
and then use it or lose it. I mean, the ref can say, "Look, we can go back to it," or
but at the same time, it's how much can the TMO say? Listen, sorry, 5 phases, 10 phases ago there was. What are you classifying then? Are you talking about like a red card infringement?
No, I'm talking about like a serious infringement, like a high tackle or dangerous clear out or something like that.
I would be on board with something like that, but if it's something like inconsequential that you know at the end of the day...
it has to be a serious infringement, so taking a player in the air, has to be dangerous clear out, it has to be a dangerous tackle. Essentially dangerous play.
Yeah, no, I can get on board with that.
And I mean, like, the assistant referees need to actually be a bit more vocal and a bit more involved. I mean, you see a lot of off-the-ball stuff that the referee can't see, that they can see.
Yeah.
That nothing happens. I mean, players getting held back and from getting into a ruck and maul. I mean, they need to sort out refereeing across the board.
No, they do. And I'm very pleased to see that Angus Gardner is the referee in the final. He deserved it. I mean, in our opinion, he was the most consistent referee of the season. And
I mean, he had a few humdingers.
I mean, everyone had a few. Even the great Jakub Paper had a few.
Jakub Paper had more than his fair share.
But I mean, you just got to look at that. Even World Rugby is saying they're going to look over the officiating of rugby matches in general.
Yeah, they need to. And I mean, it's important that everybody's on the level foot. And also the other thing that we spoke about throughout the season is the fact that we need neutral referees.
Yes, and we're finally getting one.
Oh, this one is a neutral referee, but I mean we had way too many South African referees and way too many New Zealand and Australian referees officiating their own derbies.
Yeah.
I mean that shouldn't happen at all. You need a neutral ground. I mean, Australia for New Zealand derbies, New Zealand for South African and Australian derbies, and vice versa. I mean, you have to have that neutrality. I mean, you can't go into a professional rugby match and you have to play the referee just as much as your opposition. I mean, it's completely unfair. Another big talking point is, I shared this with you, is Western Province spends 78 million rand a year
on their players.
And Mitchell just asked the Bulls board to up his
player budget to
90 million so he can buy in more players.
Which I was chatting to a colleague about it the other day, that Mitchell's saying that there's no depth in the Bulls squad and that's why he's needing to buy in players in order to create structures to create depth. Which I can kind of agree with Mitchell in that sense if you're looking at the more junior Bulls teams, because you're looking at the under 20 team, the under 19 team, so on and so forth. They do not perform at all in their respective competitions. Even the Super Sport Challenge, the Bulls were nowhere to be seen, and that's essentially the B team of the Union. And then you go to Craven Week, they came stone cold last.
But I mean, you can't really blame the players that much for that as much as the coaching structures that they have in place. I mean, I mean, this is Mitchell's first year as the director of rugby, I think.
Yeah.
For the Bulls.
Was it you who shared that article with me, or did I share it with you about the Mitchell factor?
You shared that with me.
And how we
blowing wind up his arse, basically.
Yeah, essentially how we're like, oh my gosh, he's so amazing, but then you look at his history and actually, no, he's not.
Well, look at it this way. He's taken a team that essentially is in the rebuilding phase, right?
How many years can you say that?
Okay, the last coaching. So this is Mitchell's first year with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's changed a lot in terms of the fitness, in terms of the.
They're definitely a fitter side.
They're definitely a fitter side. They've definitely shown a lot more enterprise than they have in the past. So that takes a long time to filter from the top all the way down. I mean, I don't think he had much time to actually prepare the Bulls this year. I mean, his appointment
he took
was
over in the Currie Cup last season. So he was there from August last year. But then the Bulls were still being coached by another. So he was
coach.
He was Currie Cup coach.
No, they fired Maria, I think.
Oh, halfway through the Currie Cup.
Halfway through the Currie Cup,
and then Mitchell took over.
Yeah, I mean that's granted. The guy is still in a phase of still building a squad, but his idea of getting more names into the Bull squad is not a bad idea, and I think South Africans, kind of like the Pro 14 in a way, kind of have to, if they can, get players that can fit into the fold where there are gaps. I mean, if we take a look at the Stormers, they have great lock stocks, but fly half.
And props, they're also very good stock there. Yeah.
Props and locks. We've got next to no flanks outside of Sia Khaleesi, and Nizam Khan's left now.
But you could argue that you got Khaleesi, who's very experienced, a very highly rated player. And his experience then filters into the other flanks within the squad.
I mean, we've got Sukumbuzo Noche coming in. Car's gone, so we've lost that 8-man factor. We've got the Bulls and the Stormers busy playing bid war for Dwayne Vermeulen at the present moment.
Yeah, I would have actually asked him about that, but he was on the phone. He was sitting next to me at the airport.
I mean, like for example, Province have no name scrum halves at all. Our fly half depth is Damien Willemse and then Jean-Luc Duplessis. But that youngster that filled in when they played the shots wasn't that bad though.
But then you look at the Bulls, for example, they have no depth whatsoever.
Yeah, Pollard's out, then they're stuffed. Krill's out, they're stuffed.
Essentially, I mean, maybe you could argue we have some centre depth. Some.
I mean, Burger Oendal's okay, and
At least one of the left. I mean,
Yeah.
there is no depth in the Bull squad. The
And
starting
wings.
players, wings decently stocked, but
now there is because Jambo Lenga's back, and Travis Ishmael's injured now.
flanks, no experience whatsoever. At least
No.
a lot of experience. Locks, you can argue we have decent locks, but when they're injured, who's replacing them?
Exactly. And then the Lions with their mass exodus at the end of the playoffs. A lot of guys leaving.
Shame, poor Lions.
Sharks, the only guys who are lucky enough to keep most of their
Because
stock.
they pay their players so much. Did you see how much the Beast gets paid?
Yeah, you got 3 million last season.
3.8 million, and that's just Super Rugby. That doesn't
I know.
take into account Curry Cup, Springboks,
Bonuses,
sponsorships. I mean, how much do Big pay him?
probably a lot. But I mean, enough about how much the players and all that make and all that type of thing. How do you feel after this whole Super Rugby season? How do you feel about it? Because I feel it's a bit long in the tooth now. The conference system doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and I'm all for us heading north, if I'm honest. I think as
I agree.
Saru gets shafted year after year by Sanzar, even though technically we have the most voting power given our
Correct.
viewerships, and as a South African rugby public, we're just getting tired of Super Rugby, and Sanzar has these grand visions, but they don't take into account supporter interest.
No, one, the whole thing with the derbies, with one plays there and one plays that, it actually loses the luster of that one-off match.
Yeah.
So you look at the stadiums and they're currently empty and all that, and there's a reason for it. Sharks are playing here, we're playing so and so, we're going to meet them again on the other side. Blah,
It's
blah,
not
blah.
an event. It's not
not
like
an event.
you don't have 2 years where Bulls come to Newlands one year. Okay, well now next year they're not coming to Newlands, they're going to Loftus. So now we have to wait an entire year.
Correct.
And that creates that
anticipation and the excitement. And again, like the ticket pricing is also like
ridiculous.
mad. It's a bit ridiculous to actually go and see a live
Especially
match.
Newlands.
So-
Newlands just has it completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, so this type of
Well, they won't have rugby next year. So
no, we won't. We have to wait and find out what's actually happening. I mean,
that's another thing. Western Province have not handled that situation well at all.
nope. And we're going to lose the second oldest test venue in the world.
Yeah, I mean that's a
Yes.
big one.
I mean, the way I've heard it, if Western Province default, they lose Newlands ground, and that's going to end up getting teared down. They're going to make that like parking lot or something.
No, that's going to be apartments. You know how valuable that land is. Jeez.
But I mean, I think it was Jake White said it not so long ago. We have no sense of guarding our history.
And at least celebrating it when it's like a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
So like Newlands, for example, yes, there was always going to come a time where there was political pressure to move to the Cape Town Stadium, but at least make an event of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just gonna sit abandoned, and then they're gonna demolish it, and then that's it. There's nothing to it. I mean, in Christchurch after the earthquakes and all that, with their thing being, they made an event where they were like, okay, unfortunately this event has happened, but let's rejoice. We've built this whole new thing in memory of it and all that type. They made an event of it. I mean, New Zealand to me is like the perfect example of what a rugby union should be.
Yeah, and also in the UK.
And the UK.
They're provincial's the wrong word for it, but you know they're smaller
I think
unions.
it's counties.
Counties, cities, whatever they use it. But even then, their stadium model is different. We have these huge stadiums that seat 40 to 50,000 people. Whereas you look at New Zealand, England, they always sell out their stadiums, but even then it's maximum 25,000 people.
No, smaller crowds and that type of thing. I mean, a lot of the bulk of our stadiums, I think, got upped. The seating got upped when we hosted the '95 World Cup.
Only one rugby stadium was altered. 95. I thought you were talking about 2010 Soccer World Cup.
No, '95 Rugby World Cup.
Possibly, but even then,
I mean, it's so sad to see that we have like we don't protect the heritage at all. I mean, it's sad. It's disappointing.
But I think let's not depress ourselves too much. Well, actually, we can depress ourselves more. Score prediction for the final.
Oh, there's no way the Lions are going to beat the Crusaders on their best day.
And the Crusaders are at home.
And the Crusaders at home. They haven't lost a playoff match in Christchurch since 1998, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while. And the Lions left late.
Yeah.
That was.
But Space to Brain's answer to that is the guys are going to go to bed at 1 in the morning.
I mean, some of them might be disciplined enough to do it.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, look, the biggest important thing, and this is the most important thing every rugby pundit has said, if the Lions forwards can get some dominance, the Lions have a chance of putting the Crusaders to the sword. But the Crusaders have so many All Black forwards.
Their whole team is basically the All Blacks. I mean, give or take 1 or 2 individuals that don't have a cap. But essentially, their entire starting 15 has got an All Black cap.
Someone's at least been capped, at least once, or has been in the extended squad or something. So I mean,
but the positive is, how many years have we waited for the Crusaders to become that team that they were?
Yeah, it's been a while, and it's nice to see them dominate again. But prediction, I think this is going to be high scoring for the Crusaders.
Yeah. I want to be a bit conservative because it is a final at the end of the day. So I'm going to say the Crusaders are going to win by 14 points.
Yeah, 14 to 20 minimum.
So
I mean, it also depends on how much Yankees handles the pressure.
Yeah. So if you're a South African supporter, I mean, I wouldn't set an alarm, but if you're awake, watch it.
And I mean, after this, we can start looking forward to
the Rugby Championship.
The Rugby Championships, which
will come second.
Apparently.
Yes.
Where I'm a little bit more excited about.
I'm excited about that as well. There's some interesting things coming about, especially with Robert du Preez and Coburn Bosch being omitted from the Springbok training squad.
Well, I think there's some valid reasons for it.
But we can talk about it next week when the Lions boys are incorporated as well.
Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, good to be back.
Yeah, again, sorry for disappearing.
And catch us next time.
Cheers.
Bye.